me give them a quick overview of how the rounds are going to look like. Okay, so 5 rounds of quizzing. There's going to be 2 mixed bag rounds, mixed bag with questions called Potpourri round. We go clockwise, and then we go anti-clockwise. And then we have a listed round, and then followed by 2 rounds on the buzzer, and we'll explain the rules. And I think we are ready. We'll start out with the first round. It's called the Potpourri round. I think I'll start out with the rules for the Potpourri round. These teams are well aware of the drill and the rules. 6 questions in all. We go clockwise. Plus 10 for a correct answer, and there is passing. But in any team, if they want to pounce, that is within 10 seconds of me reading out the question, if they think that they know the answer, they can raise their hand and indicate to me that they are going for that answer. If you get it right, plus 10. If you get it wrong, minus 10. Teams, all the very best. The first question will go to IIM Calcutta from the Potpourri round. Teams pouncing, be alert. Here comes the first question. This Constituent Assembly member was one of India's finest tennis players and even played at Wimbledon. Besides being elected to the Constituent Assembly, she was nominated to the Advisory Committee and the Subcommittees on Fundamental Rights and Minorities. She was also the niece, and this is the most interesting fact that we unearthed, of Henry Golaknath, a missionary from Bengal and the famous petitioner in the famous landmark constitutional case, Golaknath versus Union of India. She was named the Times Magazine Women of the Year for the year 1947 when India got its independence. Teams pouncing, please raise your hand now. I see 2 teams pouncing. 3, 2, and 1. I close pounce. I see 3 teams pouncing. I quickly check their answers. Okay, so I've seen their answers. Over to IIM Calcutta.
We're going to guess this is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur.
So you're saying this is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, who was a Wimbledon tennis player. That's the right answer. Very good. India's first health minister. This is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Very, very good quality answer. Plus 10 for IIM Calcutta. Teams which pounce, please raise your hand. I have Lady Shriram College LSR 10 points. Kaylee Law College 10 points. Campus Law Center 10 points. And IIM Calcutta Team B, or I'll call you Team 2 for the purpose of the quiz, 10 points. Good answering by all the finalists here. So you'll see the quality of the teams here. This is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. And and law students would know about the famous Golaknath judgment. And she was Mr. Golaknath's niece as well. Okay, moving on to the next question. And that is a direct to Goa University. We follow infinite bounds. So the team which answers, the next team gets the next question. Goa University, your question coming up on the screen. So in 1912, 1913, the Pacific Coast Hindustan Association was founded by Indian immigrants, which later came to be called the Gaddar Party. With donations raised with the help of Indian diaspora, the party established the Yugantar Ashram, where a printing press was set up with the donations they raised. The movement started a weekly publication called the Hindustan Gaddar, whose first edition appeared on 1st November 1913. The issues were handwritten before being printed in the press. What measure did the press workers take with respect to circulation of the publication in order to shield from the British intelligence, right? So in order to protect the movement supporters from British intelligence, what specific action did the press workers of the Hindustan Gaddar take to protect them, right? This can be a creative answer. You can work out an answer. It could be anybody's guess. Put yourself into their place. British intelligence was quite covert. They had their ears to a lot of things that were happening and so on. To protect the names of the supporters, how did the press workers protect from the British intelligence is the question, right? This is famously how they did it, and that's why it makes it to the grand finale question, right? And it's a very logical answer if you were to think about it, but a very tough one. Like in a sense that no one would think that this is what they would do, right? That's why it makes it. Anyone pouncing for the question? Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. Oh, okay, we have one team pouncing. Teams pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, and 1. I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. I have taken the answer from them. And Goa University, you're direct. Put on your creative caps on.
Okay, this is a wild guess. We'll go with, so it was basically Gadar Party, right? So we'll go with, it was written in Punjabi language to make sure that, they could not understand it.
Right. So they used it in Punjabi language. The names were written down in Punjabi language. The British intelligence could not get to know of it. LSR?
They kept the Gadar Party's newspapers inside novels and circulated them that way.
So they put it in like a circulating library or sorts in a books and so on. Good guess. Moving on to Kaylee, pounced. Over to Campus Law Center.
Perhaps the people who were delivering these papers, they wore British official uniforms, so as to...
They were British officials themselves, so they never could, get a doubt or suspect them. Good thinking answers. NLS?
They disguised it as war propaganda against the German.
Okay. So they disguised this as war propaganda against the Germans, and therefore they thought they were on the side of the British, so they would not really kind of suspect them again. Think of the good quality answers here.
We'll go the simple answer. We'll say they used pseudonyms for the authors or the members, the movement support.
They used pseudonyms. So let's say there were 1,000 people, they had 1,000 different names for them. Okay? I am Calcutta, team 2.
I think they used it as packaging material for like food items, and they circulated in the military cantonments.
So they used it as part of packaging of food items, and therefore they could not judge it. All very, very good answers. I am Calcutta, team 1.
We are guessing that it was hidden inside another newspaper, another publication.
It was hidden in as part of another newspaper, and therefore they were not able to. All very good answers. Unfortunately, I have not yet gotten the right answer, but in fact, all of these answers could have been right. But this instance, they used something else. Anyone in the audience want to take a crack at it? In fact, there were over 1,000 such supporters and subscribers for the Hindustan Gadar. Any guesses? Yes? Want to shout it out? Yeah, quickly, if you can give me an answer.
I think in the form of poetry, in Hindi poetry.
In form of Hindi poetry, they used it, couplets, etc. Very, very good thinking answer. Claps deserved, but not the right answer. But good creative answer. Okay, supposedly, the Hindustan Gadar press workers, all of them, like almost like how there is a test for the cab drivers in London, all of them had to memorize all the 1,000 names. So they had memorized all the 1,000 names who were the supporters for the Indian freedom movement, right? So that was how they ensured that there would be no way that the others could take it. Hard luck, folks, hard luck, but interesting funda nevertheless. Unfortunately, might feel a little bad when I'm giving negatives on pounds. -10 to Kaylee. They had one such guess where they said they had rolled it in chapatis and they were served, and that's how they were able thinking. Good thinking, but not quite here. So this was the answer for Goa University. Since no one answered, it comes back to them. And after 2 consecutive ones, I move on. Goa University, again to you. Third question. Right. So in a bizarre case, a Canadian court has ruled that something can be affirmed as a person officially entering into a contract. The judge called it the new reality in society that courts would have to confront as more people express themselves differently. The case was whether a farmer had agreed to sell 87 metric tons of flax to a grain buyer in 2021. The buyer had signed the contract and texted a photo to the farmer. The farmer contended that it simply confirmed that I received the flax contract and not that I agreed to it. In making the decision, the judge cited the dictionary.com definition of something, and it said used to express assent, approval, or encouragement. What did the court rule as something that would count as consent or so as part of a contractual agreement? And with this judgment, it has truly become a precedent to many, many such issues that come up in front of the court. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand, right? And I close pounce now. I quickly check your answers.
अनेक पैसे के पास little पैसे. I'm going to give you a chance, but
Okay, it's quite a little bit to think through the answers as they've written in a little bit of stress, looks like. And I'm going to give you another chance. Okay, so over to Goa University.
So we think that this is WhatsApp. First of all, it's received through WhatsApp, and then people send the thumbs up just to agree.
That's the right answer. Absolutely. In a WhatsApp message, now you send thumbs up, and then you claim I did not consent to it. Sorry, you have a contract that is binding on you, is what the Canadian court said. Fantastic answer. Good 10 points for Goa University. And teams which pounced, if you can raise your hand for me to get it right. So I am Calcutta, team 1 got it right. LSR cracked it with 10 points. We have Campus Law Center who also got it right. National Law School also got it 10 points. GNLU got 10 points. And I am Calcutta, team 2 also got 10 points. Good answering there. A lot of you getting that right. Very good. So this is essentially a thumbs up emoji. So next question is to LSR. Your direct coming up on the screen. Here it comes. So on June 25th, 1975, the heart of the emergency, etc., Jayaprakash Narayan, during a gathering at Ramlila Maidan, called on the military to remove the government of Indira Gandhi from power. Initially, Srimati Indira Gandhi redirected the assembly from Chandni Chowk to Ramlila Maidan after denying them permission. Unfazed, she collaborated with her information and broadcasting minister, V.C. Shukla, to devise a strategy at dissuading people from participating in the protest. However, this plan ultimately proved unsuccessful. What was the strategy? Team, here I am clarifying the question. I'll give you part points if you tell me what was the strategy. If you tell me the specific, and I'm looking for a specific answer of the strategy, you will get another part points. So if you're pouncing, I would like you to, because it's the national final, I'm just being a little nitpicky here, request you to think and answer. I need a strategy and I need a specific. What did they do specifically? Right? Okay? Cool. So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, it is direct to LSR. It's direct to LSR. 3, 2, and 1. I see 2 teams pouncing. Very quickly check your answers. Okay. So I've seen their answers, and the direct was to Lady Shri Ram College.
So they were showing Sholay on Doordarshan.
Very, very smart answer. So you're saying 1975, August 15th was when Sholay got released. So it's June 25th, unfortunately. Okay, so what is your, this one? So strategy is?
So the strategy was showing a movie on Doordarshan.
Okay, showing a movie on Doordarshan. Okay, Kelly?
Just a random guess. They might have made a misinformation stating that JP is unwell and is in hospital.
Okay, a misinformation news headline saying JP has gotten unwell and therefore not mobilized the crowd. Over to Campus Law Center. Because it's a pass, I need to move quickly. Okay, and you guys had pounced. JNLU?
They screened a movie in publicly. I'll say it was Diwar.
She says, Divar, I am Calcutta also went for it. I am Calcutta team 1. Any guesses? Since it's a pass, I need to be a little quick.
Screened a movie, Anand.
Anand, Goa University.
So wild guess, I can see Information and Broadcasting Minister. So I think they played the national anthem just to make them, protest mat karo, ruko wahan pe. So I think it's a national anthem.
So national anthem, okay? So anyone in the audience who want to take a crack at it? Anyone in the audience? Right at the back, yes? Declared national emergency, not quite. Okay, so I'll use my discretion, give them 5 points because they came up with a strategy and they were the first team here to say the strategy. The movie that they played was, I don't know if you guys can guess the movie with this song, but let me try and play the song. So, effectively, they played the movie Bobby on DD, not Sholay, but movie Bobby. So, team switch pounds, if you can raise your hand. NLSIU, good 10 points, full answer. I am Calcutta, team 2 also got it right, full 10 points. Very good. Both of them got that right. So they played this very popular movie at that time, Bobby. Right? Okay, moving on to the next question. Kaylee, your direct coming up on the screen. What specific charge or criticism was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar defending when he responded to members of the Constituent Assembly, including P.S. Deshmukh and B. Das, whose photographs we've shown, they had made a certain criticism, and this is how Dr. B.R. Ambedkar responded. If there can be any, in a constitution framed so late in the day, are the variations made to remove the faults and to accommodate it to the needs of the country. The charge of dash is based, I am sure, is an inadequate study of the constitution. Right? So he said, those of you who are making that charge, you've perhaps not read the constitution fully. Right? So that is how he put out. And he said, when you're drafting, and those are the lines. Okay? So teams which are bouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, 1. I close bounce. I quickly check your answers. Okay? Okay. So I've seen their answers, and the direct was to Kaylee Law College.
Is it related to the emergency provisions that Ambedkar?
Emergency provisions, good thinking, not quite. Campus law.
So the charge was that the constitution that was being found was a copy paste and nothing original was their catered so it was not made for Indians. We were just copying and pasting what we had.
So blindly copy pasted from other constitutions, etc. I'll give it to you. That's the charge that was made against the drafting committee and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar goes to say that, when you're building that constitution at the last, later years, you look for the needs of the country and accordingly bring in provisions, regardless of whether you take it from other constitutions or not. It's well thought out and therefore we borrow it. That's the answer I was looking for. Very good answer. Good 10 points from Campus Law Center, Delhi. 10 points to you folks. Teams which are bouncing, if you raise your hands, please. 10 points to LSR, 10 points to GNLU, and 10 points to I Am Calcutta, Team 2. Really raking in the points in the first round. Well done. Right? So there is always, even now this debate has kind of come through, but I think, looking at the Constitution, again, reading it, you'll realize that there were so many important things that India had. And for that need that they built out many provisions, right? So we might have borrowed the best ideas from the others, but what's the harm? Right? So that's constitutional borrowing. And even from the Government of India Act of 1935 was the other big, charge that you have taken a lot of provisions from that. Okay, moving on to the next question, and that is to NLSIU. Teams bouncing, pay attention. Here is your question. This is a memorial in Kolaba, Mumbai, commemorating a significant event that took place from February 18th to February 25th, 1946, which many argued played a crucial role in accelerating British exit from India. During the week of this event, Prime Minister of Britain, Clement Attlee, announced he would send a cabinet mission to India to resolve the deadlock over the establishment of the Indian Constituent Assembly. The event was triggered by the unfair treatment of Indians after World War II and the court-martial of approximately over 23,000 INA, Indian National Army soldiers for high treason. This event is also part of the background of this John Masters' Bhavani Junction, a book and a movie that was made, whose plot is set around that time, and it has elements from the event that we are talking about. I'll just play a small clip to give you a flavor how Bhavani Junction looked like. It was one of the first American movies that were ever filmed in the Indian subcontinent, right? So, in fact, they were not given permission to film it in India. They filmed it in Pakistan. Here it goes.
Bhavani Junction, the book that became a sensation with its revealing story of modern India. Now on the screen, Ava Gardner relives the affairs of Victoria Jones. Stuart Granger portrays the romantic life of Colonel Savage. Bill Travers becomes the jealous lover, Patrick Taylor. To bring dramatic reality to the Book of the Month bestseller, MGM sent stars and technicians to Pakistan to film the first American movie ever made in that exciting corner of the earth. Here, in the setting of the original story, men have found strange and unusual ways to fight one another for power.
Right. So, just a small clip for you guys to look at that aspect. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, and 1. A close pounce. Quickly check your answers. Okay. Okay, so we've seen all the answers, and the direct was to NLSIU. Over to you, folks.
This is the naval mutiny.
The Royal Navy mutiny. I'll give it to you. That's the answer we were looking for. So, I mean, the ill treatment of many soldiers, etc. So there was about 2,000, 3,000 naval soldiers who went in mutiny, and that spread to other parts of the subcontinent in ships, etc. And that was like a very strong triggering point, and many people call it the last revolt of our independence as well. So this is the Royal Indian Mutiny. So this is a Royal Naval Uprising in Bombay. And there's a new book also which kind of talks about this from Pramod Kapoor. Okay, cool. So good answers. Teams which pounds, if you can quickly raise your hands. 10 points to IIM Calcutta, Team 2. Unfortunately, a minus 10 to JNLU. Plus 10 to Campus Law Center. Plus 10 to Lady Shriram College. And plus 10 to Goa University. Right? And plus 10 to IIM Calcutta Team 1 as well. They also went for it. Yeah? IIM Calcutta Team 1 also got it. Fantastic.